For today's lesson, we're going to look at solving quadratics by using what's called the quadratic formula. So it's going to be another technique to help us solve these quadratic equations. So what the quadratic formula is stems from the standard form of a quadratic function. And so we're talking about standard form, that's the ax squared plus bx plus c, where it's in order from the degree, highest powers first, so least to greatest, and your constant terms listed last, and it's equal to 0. And so if you have your quadratic equation in this form, it is true that the solutions to the formula here is given by a formula. It's given by x equals the opposite of the b value plus or minus the square root of my b value squared minus 4 times the a value times the c value all over 2 times the a value. And so with these problems today, the very first step is to identify your a, b, and c into this equation. We'd sub that in, and then we simplify until we get 2 solutions in the end. Now notice we do have a square root involved. And remember, anytime we have a square root involved, some prerequisite skills such as being able to simplify like square root of 24 or being able to see that square roots come out nicely, right? And so if it was a square root of 24, remember, that's when we break down 24 in a factor tree and we make our prime factorizations of these numbers, so 2 and 3, and then the prime factorization of 24 can be written as the square root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 3, and then remember, since it's a square root for every pair, you can pull out 1, and so the square root of 24 can be written as 2 square roots of 6, and then that would be your final answer there. And so square root of 36, also recognize that those come out nicely, right? Square numbers, so if you see square root of 36, that just becomes 6. Because the goal is to really simplify this radical part and then combine like terms till we have an overall simplified expression, possibly with no fractions involved. All right, so let's take a look at a couple problems together before I have you guys try one on your own. Here it says solve the quadratic equation, use the formula. And so notice this is already set equal to 0. Notice it's also already in standard form. So the very first step was be identifying your a, b, and c value. And so if I list what my a, b, and c value is, a is in front of x squared here. So since there's nothing in front, we got to assume a is 1. B is in front of x, so that's our b value of positive 10, and c is the constant term there, which is positive 9. So we have our a, b, and c value there listed. Second step would be plug it into that formula. So the formula is negative b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and so if I plug it in, that becomes opposite of 10, because b is 10, plus or minus the square root, my b squared, which would be 10 squared, minus 4 times my a and my c, which my a there ends up being, looks like 1, and then my c value ends up being 9. And it's all over 2 times the a value, which is 1. And so now your job is to simplify this, because the third step is break that radical down. So the first step that I would do when simplifying that radical, let's simplify the underneath part. And so if I just focus on doing this part on my calculator, right? 10 squared minus 4 times 1 times 9, well, 10 squared is 100. 4 times 1 times 9 is 36. And so I get 100 minus 36 inside, which is 64. And it's all over 2 times 1, which would just be 2. And notice the square root here is a nice square root. In fact, the square root of 64 comes out nicely. The square root of 64 itself is 8. And so that becomes negative 10 plus or minus 8 all over 2. And when you get to this step, this is where we split up that plus or minus part of that formula. And so one answer is going to be negative 10 plus 8 divided by 2, and the other answer here is going to be negative 10 minus 8 divided by 2. And so if I work that operation, negative 10 plus 8, well, that'd be negative 2 divided by 2. Negative 1 is one answer here. And then if I do negative 10 minus 8, that's negative 18 divided by 2. Negative 9 would be the other solution there. So my two answers are negative 1 and negative 9 here. And again, another way to check is you could always plug those back into the original to see if it equals 0 there. It's a good way of checking. All right, let's take a look at another one here. So here, notice it's not set equal to 0, so the first step is adding this 3 to make sure it's set equal to 0. And so it's going to be 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 equals 0. If I identify my a, b, and c value, which are directly in front of those variables there in coefficient, looks like my a value ends up being 2, my b value ends up being negative 5, and my c value ends up being 3. And so here's my formula. Get a habit of writing it down first before you sub things in. And so opposite of b would be, well, opposite of negative 5 technically would be positive 5. And so you'd still have the plus or minus square root. B squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. If I fill in the known information, my b is negative 5. My a is 2, my c is 3, and the a on the bottom would be also 2 there. So I plugged in the numbers here, and so I get x equals 5 plus or minus the square root. If I simplify everything underneath, you got to be careful here. But notice we get negative 5 squared is positive 25, minus 4 times 2 times 3 ends up being 4 times 6, which is 24. And so underneath I get 25 minus 24, which is just 1, all over 2 times 2, which is 4. And so on the bottom here, notice you can simplify that square root because the square root of 1 is just 1. And then at this stage, we're splitting it up into two different answers. So one of the answers would be 5 plus 1 divided by 4, and then the other one would be 5 minus 1 divided by 4. And so one of the answers, 5 plus 1 over 4, that'd be 6/4, or you could call it 3 over 2 as your answer, or 1.5. And then the next answer, you get 4 over 4, which is 1. And so those two would end up being my two solutions here. So let's take a look at another one where the radical doesn't come out so nicely here. So everything's set equal to 0 here. If I let my a value, looks like it's 1 because that's in front of x squared. My b is going to be negative 2. That's in front of x, and my c is the constant term there of negative 10. And so now if I plug this into the formula here, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. If I plug in my known information, opposite of b is going to be positive 2. B squared would be negative 2 squared minus 4 times my a times my c value all over 2 times my a. And so if I simplify this now underneath the radical part, here I get, looks like negative 2 squared is 4, and minus 4 times negative 10 is going to be plus 4 times 10, which is 40. So I get 4 plus 40 underneath there, which ends up being 44. And so now this is our job where we need to really break down that square root of 44 here. So stuff from quarter 1 skills. In fact, we started quarter 1 with that process. So the square root of 44, remember 44 can be broken down to 2 and 22 and 2 and 11. And so 44 itself can be written as 2 times 2 times 11. And remember, for every pair, you can pull out 1. And so it looks like I can simplify that to be 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 11 all over 2. And we're fine with you keeping that as an acceptable answer if this was a free response type question. You had to upload some work. However, notice these coefficients are all divisible by 2. It doesn't matter what's inside the radical part, but notice they're all divisible by 2, which means you can cancel a 2 out of each of them. And so you can write your final answer as 1 plus or minus the square root of 11 all over 1, or just 1 plus or minus 11. So this is the answer you most likely will see on Canvas. But again, know that that previous answer is acceptable to write as your solution. So I want you guys to take a moment and try both of these on your own, plugging into the formula, practicing simplifying that radical, and coming up with your two solutions in the end. So you can pause the video, try the best you can, but we'll go over these here in a few seconds. Good luck. So in the first one, you should have subtracted 8 over, so we get x squared plus 4x minus 8 equals 0. And so your a is going to be 1, your b is going to be 4, and your c is going to be negative 8. So here's my formula. Now let's plug it in. So if I plug in everything here, it'd be x equals, opposite of b would be negative 4, plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times my a, which is 1, and my c is negative 8, all over 2 times 1, negative 4 plus or minus the square root. If I simplify everything underneath that radical part here, it looks like I get 16 plus 32. And so I believe you should have got 48 underneath. Now you may need some side work to kind of break down that square root of 48 here. And so if I break down that square root of 48, it's 2 and 24, that's 2 and 12, that's 2 and 6, that's 2 and 3. And so square root of 48 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And so it looks like I can pull out two 2's, becoming a 4 in front. So 4 square roots of 3 is what that 48 becomes. And so we've broken it down to negative 4 plus or minus 4 square roots of 3 all over 2. And then now recognize these coefficients are all even numbers, which means you can divide them out by 2. And so my final answer, you might most likely see on Canvas, would be negative 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 3. For the second one here, everything's already set up for you, so if I just plug it into the formula, opposite of 11 plus or minus the square root would be 11 squared minus 4 times my a is 6, my c is negative 35, all over 2 times my a, which is 6. And so if I simplify this, I get negative 11 plus or minus the square root. Here you might need to use your calculator for this part. And I believe if you do that, you get a total of 961 underneath. And so it's divided by 2 times 6, which is 12. And believe it or not, the square root of 961 does come out nicely. That's the first thing I would always check, is see if you can actually type this on your calculator and gives you a number. If it gives you an actual integer, then that's what it is. If it's not, if it's some decimal, that's when you got to kind of break it down like we did in the previous one. But the square root of 196 does come out to be exactly 31. And so now that I get to this stage, you have two answers, right? I have negative 11 plus the 31 divided by 12, or negative 11 minus the 31 divided by 12. And so if I do the first one, I get 20 over 12, which that reduces to, looks like both of those are divisible by 4. So that reduces to 5/3 as one answer. And then the other one I get is negative 42 over 12. And both of these are divisible by 6, I believe. So if I divide 6 out in the top, I get negative 7. If I divide 6 out the bottom, I get 2. And so negative 7 over 2 is your final answer there. So that concludes today's lesson. So make sure you check out the practice that's online Canvas. And then don't forget to submit the homework quiz before midnight tonight. With that said, you guys are free to work and have a great rest of your day.